So I've not tested 40, 45 people logging in at the same time. So I'm hoping it's not going to break. But before I start, just a show of hands, is anyone familiar with Jupyter Notebooks? Have you worked with Jupyter Notebooks? Installed Jupyter Notebooks? Okay, great. So half and half. Okay, great. So just like a brief overview of what Jupyter Notebooks are for those who don't know. It's basically just an application that you install and then run on your browser. And what you can do with Jupyter Notebooks is that you can execute those documents that you write. So what do you write in a Jupyter Notebook? You write things like code. You can put text in a Jupyter Notebook, and you can put images in a Jupyter Notebook. And essentially, a Jupyter Notebook is an interface for developing code. You can develop Python code, you can develop R code, you can develop Julia. And so basically it's just an app for developing code. And so what is a Jupyter Hub? A Jupyter Hub is a server for serving out Jupyter Notebooks. And for those interested, and you don't really need to know, the nerdy setup that we have for the Oceanhackweek is that I have a Jupyter Hub that's running on Google Cloud Platform. And what it does is it scales up and down according to demand. So if there's one person logged on to the Jupyter Notebook server, we have a smaller number of computers that serve out the notebooks. If all 40 people log on, then we have more machines being spun up. So what we're going to do is try to see if we can break the system. I have 10 really large computers going to be running in the background. And what we're going to use the Jupyter Notebooks or the Jupyter Hub for is that throughout the entire duration of the tutorials, you will be running all your code on the notebooks that have already been written by the instructors. And these notebooks are available online on the GitHub repository. And I sent out the link to the GitHub repository through Slack if you want to follow along. And right now, we're going to move on to doing some really fun stuff. We're going to all log on to our Jupyter Hub, and you should all have tried it out. But let's just try doing it again so that if you couldn't or you didn't log on before, this is a good time to let me know. And if you are logged into other sessions of your GitHub, it's probably good practice for you to log on to the Jupyter Hub using an incognito or a private window so it doesn't get messed up. So this is what I'm doing. And the URL to the Jupyter Hub is jupyterhub.oceanhackweek.org. And I'm going to sign in with my GitHub. And everyone should see a page that looks exactly like this. What you will see on your version of the Jupyter Notebook server is a folder called OHW 2018_tutorials. Is there anyone that's not on this page? If you again use the stickies, if you have a problem, it's sad yellow face, and if you're no problem, it's a happy blue face. Sorry. Okay. So, Orest, you can log on. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So we might have. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're spinning up new instances. So just be patient. It will take a while. Keeping it refreshed might not actually. This one is so just give it a couple of minutes. Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
spinning up.
If you're still spinning, just let it spin for a while.
Don't listen to it. Don't listen to this guy.
Okay, all right. Hang on.
Are you not wearing a mic on purpose?
Oh, am I really soft?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just bump it up to your collar.
Do we get it right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the mic is working. I just need to have it.
Well, it's in a bad position.
Okay.
You can always turn up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Get done.
This one? This one? Okay.
Okay, it's probably that.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, but the notes is spinning up. So what's the problem?
So what is?
So you might want to try to refresh. Okay, is anyone getting a 500 error? Other than Emilio? Getting a 500 error?
A bunch of people.
Okay. So you might want to wait for a little while more and then try again, because it takes a while for the machines to kind of spin up. And if we can't, then heat refresh, yes. Yes. If you get a 500 error, otherwise if you log on, just oh.
I don't know why.
It's pulling a lot. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
It's just pulling. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so it takes a while on the pending ones. I hope I have enough.
Jupiter, Emilium. Okay, let's see.
10 is enough.
Let me just look at one of the pod. Okay, it's just still pulling.
Yeah, so it should be fine.
It should be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just pulling. A bunch of people are pulling. It's not waiting for resources, so yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Just waiting.
You might just have to refresh.
So you might just have to refresh or just wait a little while longer. It will work. It must work.
So that guy over there in the corner, he's getting 403 forbidden.
What's his name?
One in the corner, I don't.
If you didn't add the names to GitHub list, if you're getting a 403 error, it's probably because your name is not on the GitHub list. So if you can check if your name is on the GitHub list, I'll send out the link again. But otherwise, everything else you will just have to be patient.
Do you want a place where I collect the names of the people?
We have a GitHub list here. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, that's.
That's what I do.
It's not the same. It's not working, but it's not as satisfying as breaking it.
As a manager,
I don't think so.
they give me the tested,
Just
and I put it break it.
Okay. So yeah, if you're getting a 403 error, please update your GitHub username in this list. So I'm just going to show you very quickly what's going on so that you're not wondering. Let me see here. So if you can see here on your screen, down at the bottom, you'll see this GKE Oceanhackweek default pool. What it's trying to do is that there's a cluster that's running on Google Cloud, and it's spinning up all these nodes And each of these nodes will have one of your Jupyter notebook pods or Jupyter notebooks, kind of one of your Jupyter notebooks on there. So each pod, once it's filled up, will spin up another one. And so what it's doing is trying to build more and more of these notebooks, right? And so sometimes it takes a while for the Google Cloud to kind of provision a new machine. And so I'm hoping.
Let's see where it's at. Scroll up. Or get pods.
I have 10. Okay.
Is that what you were intending?
10. It's like,
Scroll up.
yeah. So there's like pre-pulling.
Still
So there's
in it,
like
still pending.
somebody's terminating. What's it pending for so long?
Yeah. Let's see what's going on with the pending ones. Oh, it's so hard. Pick
B.
one.
Preston. Okay.
Preston.
Insufficient CPU. Okay.
Ah,
0 of 8 nodes available. So have we filled it up? So it's provisioning even more now.
you missed the fun.
Sorry. Things
Oh.
crash.
Yeah, we're figuring out Jupyter apps.
Okay. Where did I go? Should never do the scaling. Should be up to 10. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Yeah,
Well, it's been up a little bit more.
it is.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you go back, it's still.
Okay.
You go to that window, instant screws. Like that.
It's going to 10.
Yep. It's spinning up.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just not
So
ready
how many
yet.
people? It's 40 people?
Yeah.
So I had 2 CPUs.
How many people?
49. So how many people are actually logging on?
Do you want to do a show hands if you are on?
Well, how many people are actually in this room like trying to log on, right? Because I have 8 divided by 2. I have literally only 40. So
Okay.
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 So can I have a show of hands again? Who can't log on? Who's still waiting? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Put his hand up.
Wow.
It's last, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So do you think it's capacity thing?
It's the capacity. I think there's too many people.
Some of the people who are already familiar to not log on.
Yeah. Actually, just give me 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes.
Okay.
I'll just turn down that.
Work just for them to pull it locally and run Jupyter locally.
Well, the problem is that we want to make sure that everybody can log onto this because we're demoing a lot of stuff. Yeah, just
For the packages and stuff. Are you trying to add?
we can. So I think
People
it's
are
just
succeeding.
okay.
For some reason, your machines are not spinning up.
They are spinning up. What's going on?
It's allowed. What does it say?
Failed quota. Oh my god. 80. Yeah, there are. Okay, just a second.
I think if we can get down to less than maybe like 5-6 people who can log on to move on the exit.
Yeah, maybe we can.
Let's do that. We can ask them people who cannot log on, put a yellow tag. So
Yeah.
we can just count.
Got
Yeah.
the wrong username for me. I entered it incorrectly, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll.
This is free information.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So after add,
Right.
you want to commit and then dash M with
I'll just do it in one. This should work. Right?
What?
Should I just change it to
Why are you changing it to one?
1C people?
Free? Oh, yeah, I guess that's fine. There's no.
It's because we have too many people logged on.
Yeah, yeah. Like kick out everyone that's already on.
I don't know. I don't think so. Will it?
It might.
Should we just move on? Yes. Okay, I'm going to just do it.
Okay.
Great.
Cool.
Okay.
It's updated.
Yes.
Great.
Okay. Okay. If this doesn't work, we're gonna move on. So the people that have not, either you have gotten kicked out or it's not working for you, just one more last time. We'll give it 1 minute, and if it doesn't work, we'll move on. Find a partner that actually has a working Jupyter notebook server, and then we'll deal with this problem later. Try it again. Okay. Ah, okay. So I just restarted the system. Okay.
So you're saying if I start a one tab, go to browser?
Yeah, well, yours is working.
Well, I can't get to the server. So it's sort of pretend like it's on
Yeah, you might need to and then use like private tab.
Some are fine.
You might need to just try with them in conversation. Okay, so I think we're just gonna move on. I'm sorry, I will fix this problem. You will be able to run your stuff by, I don't know, tomorrow. Okay, but if you want to follow along, please find a partner that has a working Jupyter Hub. So there's a couple of things that we're just gonna do that's basically just a follow up with the Git tutorial. And I'm gonna turn this. Okay. What we're actually going to do is what we're actually going to do is open a new terminal. So again, it's when you're at your home on your Jupyter Notebook server, Jupyter Notebook. You want to click New with the arrow down, and you want to go to Terminal. And a screen like this should pop up. right?
I got that same thing.
Okay. And yes. Oh. Okay. Sorry. Right here. Here. Okay. So new terminal, and you get a screen that looks like this. So it's basically like your Linux bash terminal, right? And if you type something like ls, you see that the folders are there. So ls in Linux just means list. And we are going to change directory into the OHW 2018 tutorials folder. Oh, sorry. CD, OHW, there, okay. Right, and then if you list again, you should see all the contents in there, okay? All right, we are going to do a Git pull.
Conflicts.
Yeah, this is
People
because
have open.
I think, so if they haven't worked on this, they should be fine. You should not be getting this error, mostly because I've been doing a bunch of changes. So again, I'm just going to commit my changes. You don't have to follow along with this step. I'm going to do this. But this just kind of exposes you to more of the Git commands that you're familiar with. So this is what I'm going to do. Okay. Okay, what do I do with this? How do I get out of this? Don?
What is that thing?
I don't know. How the heck do I get out of this?
What the heck? I have no idea. What is that?
I don't know.
What is
Okay,
this
I'm
thing?
getting, okay, terminal. Okay.
Just check out.
Okay. Can I do this?
No,
How do I get out of this?
just go back.
Okay, I'm going to need some help here. Can anyone let me know how to get out of this thing? Does anyone know how to get out of this Emacs? Which, ha,
Is this
Here,
yes,
Control X, Control C?
Control X, Control C. Okay,
Good.
great.
Nice, good job.
Okay, so now I can finally get pull, hopefully. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. So hopefully everyone's get pulled. Yes. Anyone that's with, so okay. You want to just, so we're doing this step because we want to make sure that the folder that's in your Jupyter notebook is synced with what's on the GitHub repo. Okay, and then once you're here, okay, we're going to move on. We're going to go back up one directory. So right now, if you're in the OHW 2018 tutorials folder, we're just going to go up one directory. So this is command cd space ... And you should be back in the directory that has your OHW 2018 tutorials and lost and found. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get some files from a bucket and Amazon Object Storage Bucket because these are files, data files that you will be using throughout the duration of the tutorials. And the link is in the GitHub tutorials page. So the first one we'll get is for the synoptics tutorial. And right, so we should be getting something that looks like this.
Can you direct us where we find those links?
The links are on the GitHub page. And actually, the other thing is that if you're in your Jupyter home directory, if you click on any of these folders, they open up to the notebooks. And so you can see that these are the notes from what I am talking about today. And I have also sent out the link on Slack. And once you have that downloaded, we're just going to tar and unzip this file. And so we'll do this. Yes. So. Okay.
I think Don is trying to. So all of them.
So you can just get stash. So yeah. Just to, if anyone's seeing a Git commit error or like running into any Git problems, you can just type git stash and it'll just like put those errors into some archive somewhere. And then you can do a git pull again. Okay, so I'm assuming that everyone's here. I'm gonna press enter. It's gonna do a bunch of stuff. All right, and then again, the next thing we're going to do is to download, to download the data for the data mining tutorial. Again, we're going to use wget, and we are going to download. Okay. Oh no! Okay, and if you've downloaded the whale data, we're just going to unzip that. And so you should see a whole bunch of stuff being unzipped. That is a lot of data.
It's a lot of Mac OS junk
Yes.
in it.
You can delete that junk after that. Okay. Okay. All right. So if you do a list again, you should see a whole bunch of folders there. You can delete the Mac OS folder, but if you don't want to mess with that, that's fine too. So if you go back to your Jupyter Notebooks main page, you should now, and you do a refresh. Oh, actually, you should see a whole bunch of folders there. Okay, so this will be the stuff that we'll be working with during the entire week. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay. So just a show of hands, again, sorry. Who couldn't get this going? God, this is a disaster. Okay, all right, no worries. We will deal with this. If you could please send me a note on Slack if you couldn't log on. Anyone that's getting a 500 error, you should be okay. If you get a 403 error or any other error that I've never seen before, please just ping me on Slack, and we will get this resolved by today. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because we ran out of too many people logging on at the same time. We're running out of CPUs. Yes. All right. Okay, and so Don will talk about Conda environments here.
All right. Let's see if my slide actually spin up here.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm up. All right, let's see. Let's go to day 1. Yeah. How do you make this smaller? In Mac.
How do I make it small? Do you want to get out of this?
Like zoom smaller. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi everybody. All right. So let's see. How many people have gone through the preliminary and like install Conda and all those stuff? Okay. Most people have. All right. Cool. That means you already have Conda installed in your system. And so, how many of you have heard of Conda before? Have used Conda? Okay, well, most people have used it, so great. That means I can go pretty fast in this since we're running out of time. All right, so just review from the preliminary. It's there. So what is Conda? Well, Conda is an open source package and environment management system used by the scientific software community. So it's able to manage software from not just Python language, but also, like R, Ruby, Lua, Scala, Java, JavaScript, and so on. So it's a pretty general purpose package and environment manager. And so there are 2 flavors of Conda, and there's Mini Conda and Anaconda. Mini Conda is a lightweight distribution of Conda, and usually you use Mini Conda if you're not like doing full scientific, you don't need all the full scientific stack of packages, where Anaconda is a nice data science platform that comes with all the scientific packages that you need. So in the preliminary, I gave you an option of Mini Conda or Anaconda, but I definitely highly recommend Mini Conda so that it doesn't bloat your system. So why don't we just use pip, right? I mean, Python usually you only use of pip, but Conda is a new concept. Well, pip is just simply a Python package manager. It doesn't handle any dependencies other than Python packages. You don't say you want to install GDAL, for example, right? It's when you do pip install GDAL, you might need all the C dependencies that comes with GDAL. And so pip does not handle library dependencies outside Python, and then pip does not manage virtual environments, and you have to install virtual env to have this virtual environment, so you have this isolated Python packages that you need. So to know that Conda can manage pip packages, so you can do pip install within your Conda environment. So I'm going to go through the different concepts of Conda here in a little bit. But pip cannot manage any Conda packages, so you can't pip install a Conda package. So here are the concepts of Conda. Obviously, there are packages, so these are like Python packages or any other packages that you need. So a Conda package is a compiled software package But when installed, it also includes all of its dependencies, even lower level ones. So there are people out there that build these packages. For example, Felipe is sitting over there. He's a great packager. He he build packages together so that you don't have to do the work of because of packaging a software, because it's a hard work, and then especially softwares that depend on other languages, and it's very complex. And Conda package is cross-platform and made from recipes. So this is how Conda package is made. And so what is a recipe? Well, a recipe is just basically an instruction on how to compile the Conda package and its metadata. Here's just an example of what a recipe looks like. And you get to see what the package name is, and you specify where it's from, and then the build number, and then like the testing script, or like the script to install, and then just the extra metadata that comes in a package. So this is where you specify all your C dependencies, Fortran, and whatnot. And so Conda packages live in channels. So what is a Conda channel? Well, it's similar to a Linux repository or an app store. And the service is hosted free at Anaconda Cloud. So a very popular channel, hence my t-shirt over here, Conda Forge, is a great channel to get Python packages. And I just learned recently that Conda Forge actually came out of the IUs and the Met Office in UK, which is really cool. It came out of the oceanographic community, right? So yeah, Conda Forge is a community-led collection of recipes, build infrastructure, and distribution for Conda Package Manager. And if you are interested, if you already are so familiar with Conda and interested to package your own packages into Conda Forge channel, you can watch Felipe's talk from PyCon. These slides are in your in that tutorial repository. So yeah, let's see. So then the next concept is a Conda environment. So these environments are powerful in a way that it's similar to Python virtual environment, so virtual env, and it's a set of isolated packages in a directory. So everything, all your packages live in one single directory, and even your lower lower level libraries also live in that directory, so that you don't really need root access. Say if you need to apt-get install some C++, that might be hard sometimes when you don't have sudo permissions. And then environments can also be shared among others. So you can create what's called an environment file, which is just a YAML file where you can just give that YAML file to someone else, and then they can install it in their own machine, and then they have the same exact environment as you do. So this is a great way to have a reproducible research. So your software environment is the same as someone else's software environment. So yeah, now let's take a look at those pieces in the Jupyter Hub. For those that don't have Jupyter Hub up yet, we'll just look at someone else's shoulder. Okay. All right. Oh gosh. Let's open a new terminal. Yeah. Okay. So just one thing to note. You see here when you click new, there's this Python Conda root and then Python default. So these are what's called kernels in Jupyter, and these are actually just a Conda kind of environment. Well, this one is a Conda environment right here, the Conda root. In this Jupyter Hub instance, we only have one environment, which is the root environment. So that's the default environment that you have when you install Conda in your machine. And then the Python default is actually the default Python within this instance. So where's my terminal? Okay. All right. So if you do, Conda info. So this is a great way to make sure that Conda is installed in your system. Conda info is a great command to just see what Conda versions you have, whether you need to update or not, depending on what's available out there. But here is Conda packages. So if you do Conda list, you see all the packages that are installed within your Conda environment. And you can see here that there's lots and lots of packages, but specifically, you can, yes?
Quick question. When you're talking about our environment, you're talking about in the Jupyter Hub or on our local machine?
So environment, in this right here, in this demo, it's in the Jupyter Hub environment. But in your local machine, if you install mini Conda and you do Conda list in your local machine, you only have probably just the Python packages. But if you have the Anaconda and you do Conda list, you'll see a whole bunch of environments, from SciPy, or like from just the scikit-learn and NumPy, pandas, and whatnot. And then you can see here also in each environment, you can see the versions. Here, there's the versions, and then here's you can also see the build. And then also the channels where it came from. So in this case, there's a lot of them from Conda Forge. Though when you're creating environment right now, there is an issue that's currently happening in GitHub. And Felipe, could you iterate on that issue right now between mixing up default and channels? Okay. Yep. So yeah, just read your in your Slack. But yeah, so right now, just be careful when you are creating environment not to use both the default and the Conda Forge channel. So the default channel comes from anaconda.org. So Anaconda have this default channel where a lot of packages comes from. So like default channel has the most stable version of a lot of Python packages, but Conda Forge will always give you the latest and greatest versions of packages. And then, as you can see here, one of this is from pip. So that is actually a package that is installed with pip. So you can even do pip list, and this will show you the packages that are installed through pip. And then, so let me show you a Conda environment. So a Conda environment is very easy to make. So you just create, say, just whatever name you want, and then .yaml. So this .yml. So YAML is YAML ain't a markup language. It's a weird name, but yeah, it's so you just do that, and then all you need is some key. It's like a key value pair. So you put name, and then let's do test environment, and then you want to specify the channels, and then you do space, and then dash. You can do Conda Forge, and then dependencies. Let's see if I can spell. Okay, and then first thing you want to specify usually is the Python you want to use. So the great thing about Conda is, like, say you have an old project that uses Python 2.7, and you haven't ported to the new Python 3 yet. You can create a Conda environment with that Python 2.7 and also a separate environment for Python 3, and so you can you can have that transition smoothly and test it out in both different Pythons. And then if you want to specify, say, a package from pip, you just put pip like this, and then let's see, 1, 2, and then I don't know. I usually like PyJokes. It's a cool package, full of jokes. All right. And Felipe, could you package PyJokes in Conda Forge? I haven't had that. Okay, so yeah, so you have that, and then this is just a simple environment file. But ideally, if you have more packages, you just put in like dashes, whatever other package name that you need, NumPy, scikit-learn, or whichever floats your boat. Okay, and then you just save that, and then now you can see that there is a environment.yaml in my folder. And then to install that, just do conda-env create -f and then environment.yaml. Oh, sorry, that's a Vim question. So yeah, this can be made in any text editor. I just use Vim. So to save this, if you did follow along and you're stuck in Vim, you just do Shift and then colon and then WQ and then enter.
What if you're still in insert mode?
Insert mode, just press escape. Yep. And Shift colon WQ. That's just basically saying write and quit. So that's the WQ. Oh yeah, sorry. Okay. So this is just a simple environment. It will not show up in your Jupyter Hub kernel thing, just by the way, because we haven't set it up that way. But it's just a demo of what an environment looks like. You guys, everybody caught up? Yeah? Oh, if you're still in the insert mode, it says insert on the bottom, just press escape, the escape button, and then after that, Shift colon, so you want to do the colon, and then after that, type W and Q, and then enter. If your window is frozen, you probably won't be able to do anything with that. Yeah. All right. Everybody good? If it's frozen, yeah, just look at someone else's for right now. Okay.
What do we do after saving?
So give me 1 second. Let me see. So everybody's good? I'm gonna go to the next step. Okay. So after saving, I usually want to check the environment YAML file is there. And then after that, let's create the environment by typing conda create, or sorry, conda env. So conda environment create -f, so that specify it's an input argument, environment.yaml. So, and then once you type that in, just press enter. And then so what it's doing, oh gosh, what did I do? Oh, since I exited earlier, it's mad at me. Okay. All right. Okay. Now it should work. So what it's doing is it's actually now going to the Conda repository, which by the way, while that's going, I'm gonna go here. So this is a great, so if you go to anaconda.org, there's a search here for if you want to search packages in Conda Forge. Just go to anaconda.org and go over here, and then you can just search whatever package that you need and see if it's in Conda at all. And then, and then look at this, and then you can see here, there's the channel, and then the actual package name is right there. So yeah, so what it's doing here, well, it's solving the dependencies. So it's going to anaconda.org and then looking at, okay, between all these different packages that I have, you know, what is the latest and greatest version, and then how do they relate to each other, and it does all the dependency solving for you. So that's the nice thing about Conda is it has that dependency solver, which pip does not have that capability. So once that's done, you know, Conda is nice at telling you what to do next. So in this case, activate this environment by doing source activate, which, just to warn you, this is, I don't know why this is showing source activate, but in your machine it probably tells you to do conda activate. So the new syntax now is conda activate an environment rather than the source activate. And then test env. All right, so now you can see here in your terminal, you should see the test env in parentheses, and that means you're in that environment, and you can start playing with Python. Everyone's good? How's everybody doing? No questions? Okay. All right. Next, so how can I see all the environments that I have? Well, it's actually pretty simple. So there's a conda env list that will actually list out all the environments that you have. So as you can see here, I have 3 environments right now: test, env, and root. And so so you can see here where those packages, those folder of packages actually live. So it lists out here in my current environment. It lives in opt-conda env test env. So every single packages that I install in that environment will go into that folder. And then you know that you're in an environment when there's a star next to the environment here, just like that. You can also know if you do conda info, I think. Sorry. Oh, never mind. Conda info doesn't give you that. I thought it does. Okay. Oh yeah. Default environment right there. Test env. But it's easier to just do conda env list. So yeah, that's an environment file, and definitely, you know, as you work on projects this week, you know, create an environment file for your project so that you can share among your teammates, and you know, everybody has a similar build. Also, like if you already have a bunch of conda packages, you can export that by doing conda f and export -f. So this will export whatever in your current environment into a file. Conda env export -f test.yaml, just some arbitrary name. And then so you can see that my current active environment got exported. And this way it's great, but you have to be careful when you do export a conda environment, and you know, you have a file out of it that these is very specific to your current system, right? So this might not work if I pass this environment file into like a Windows machine and then they try to install it and oh, it's not working, because this is very specific to your operating system. So the best way is just, you know, create your environment file. Okay, and to install packages, I haven't gotten that. So just do conda install, and then usually I like to specify the channel by hand, conda install -c, conda forge, and then I don't know, just try to install pandas or something. So this is how you add packages into your Conda environment, you do a Conda install. So it's pretty. I think the commands are pretty straightforward, and I've in my tutorial there. Where's that at? I've provided a link here for just a more thorough walkthrough. I didn't cover every single thing about Conda, how to create environments within the command line rather than environment file, and then just, general how to build recipes and whatnot. So just go to that actual documentation from Conda, and you can learn a lot from that. So yeah, so now when I said Conda install -c Conda forge pandas, it'll show what's going to be installed and what all the different packages that's going to be downgraded or upgraded depending on how that dependency resolver work. And then you just press yes, and then it'll install the packages. Yeah. Any questions? And yeah, if you are working with Conda in your local environment and you need some help, just don't be afraid to come and see me or Felipe in that matter. He's expert in Conda also. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, before we leave, so some people were asking about why not use your own Jupyter notebooks installed on your own computer. We have a whole bunch of libraries and dependencies that we've already built into the Jupyter Hub. So if you were to run your own Jupyter notebook server on your own computer, you would have to go through that step of downloading everything and installing all that stuff, all those packages. Anyway, the other thing is that we will work on getting the Jupyter Hub up. So right now we are going to start on lightning talks, and after that we will take 15 minutes to make sure that everybody can log on to the Jupyter Hub, and yeah, and then you're not getting any errors. So we will resolve all those problems after the lightning talk. Right.
Great.
Oh, sorry, I didn't stop it. I didn't stop it. Okay, it's probably like, let's see.